soul searchers. I'm Indigo Kelly with soulsearchingwithindigokelly.com. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm here to talk to you about 7 ways that you can tell that your spirit guides might be trying to connect with you. No matter who you are, no matter where you're from, we all have spirit guides. Spirit guides are unique to each individual, and they communicate with you to share their wisdom and their guidance for you along your path in life. A spirit guide is basically a disincarnate spirit that acts as a guide to an incarnated human being. Spirit guides can be archangels, guardian angels, ancestors that have passed. They could be family or friends that have passed that maybe you were close to in this lifetime. They could also be spirit animals, and it could even be your higher self, just to name a few. Spirit guides help us throughout our life by giving us advice and assistance during situations where you feel like you might need some kind of direction. You can have many spirit guides that are with you, and certain spirit guides may help you with certain situations. You can also call on your spirit guides to give you direction in times of need. So if you feel like, maybe you aren't particularly connected to your spirit guides, or you want to connect more with your spirit guides, that's something that you can definitely do through meditation. And there are other ways to connect with your spirit guides, which that will be another video later. But today we're just going to talk about 7 ways that your spirit guides are trying to communicate with you. Your spirit guides can try to connect with you and give you direction in many different ways. The signs are often very subtle, so we might miss them or ignore them, or just think, you're experiencing like some kind of a coincidence. You're like, oh, that's really funny. That was just a coincidence. That's probably your spirit guide trying to communicate with you in some way. If you open your senses to the communication from your spirit guides, you'll really start to notice these signs from the divine. 7 ways that your spirit guides are trying to communicate with you. Number 1, dreams. The spirit world often uses dreams to convey messages to the living. For me personally, this is my number 1 way that I receive messages, and so that is why it's number 1 for me, okay? I've always been told that if you remember your dream, then it was a message, not just a dream. So if you are remembering your dreams and they're vivid, or, for me, it's just like my dreams are always so important to me. It's like I have this connection to this situation or to these people in my dreams, these situations in my dreams. And it's almost like when I wake up, like I don't want to leave my dreams, like there's something important happening and I don't want to, leave it because I want to know what's going to happen. So I will keep a daily journal so that I can go back and look and try to interpret the meanings of the dreams that I've had. You might start to make connections in your dreams. Maybe certain people are showing up repeatedly, maybe certain situations, but journaling is going to help you remember from day to day what it is that you dreamt about. I feel like that's really important because sometimes you don't even remember your dream just from that same night, but if you try to remember like 3 or 4 nights ago, it's really hard. So writing that down is going to be really, really helpful for you to try to decipher any, messages or connections from your spirit guides. I also like to write down the feelings that I had when I was in this dream state. Usually the feelings for me are very overwhelming, and I think that it has a lot to do with the messages that my guides are trying to convey in my dreams. I also like to meditate in prayer before I go to sleep as well, so that I can express to my guides what it is that I might be searching for answers for, or anything that might be bothering me, or, even sometimes, I will go to sleep and I really have my father who's passed on my mind heavy, and, I will dream about him, and I feel like sometimes, he will come to me and communicate to me through my dreams, or just be there to comfort me, just to let me know, that he's still around. And so that's always a big comfort to me as well. So number 1 way for me personally is always my dreams. Number 2, songs. Have you ever woke up in the morning or from a nap and you just had a song pop into your head suddenly, and you heard, or you may have heard a very meaningful song on the radio? I know that almost everyone has songs that connect to certain people or certain situations, like a song that you danced to at your wedding, or, a song that you played at someone's funeral, or was played at someone's funeral, or whatever it is, just any kind of special song. Sometimes we have songs that represent certain periods in our life when that was a song that we were really into at that time. But oftentimes they will give you lyrics of a song to convey a message. And this is really a big way that my guides use to communicate messages to me. Sometimes they are, sometimes they will just play a very meaningful song that lets you know they are looking out for you and they're there to comfort you. So like if you're going through something rough, or it just might be just a normal day and you just, hear that one song that just makes you think of, a certain person, situation, or time in your life that's comforting for you. You maybe have had a situation on your mind and the lyrics of the song may answer it for you. So, occasionally I'll wake up with a song stuck in my head, or a song will just pop in my head when I'm at work or something, and I don't know all of the lyrics to the song, and so I will go Google the lyrics of the song and see if there's any, connections, and I try to pay close attention to if that song has any, messages or answers for me inside of the lyrics. So really pay attention to those songs that just randomly pop into your head. Number 3, sharpened senses. You may start noticing that you are hearing, seeing, or smelling things that aren't there, okay? So oftentimes you could smell something that brings back memories to you. Like for me, one of the smells from my childhood is like tire rubber from the Unaroll plant where my father worked. Or you may smell, Old Spice that your grandfather used to wear. Or you may hear words or even names whispered in your ear. You may see something. I don't know if you've ever been sitting in a room or walking around in your house and you see something dart out the corner of your eye. And in extreme cases, this doesn't happen to me very often, but you may even feel like someone has touched you when there's no one there. All of these things can be signs that your spirit guides are trying to give you a sign, okay? Pay close attention to what is going on around you when you receive any kinds of signs through your heightened senses. So if you are sitting at home and you smell something burning, or I know this has happened to me on several occasions. Like I'll be in my bedroom and I'll hear my husband come through the front door and I think he's there and I start talking to him and then nobody answers. And I go in the living room and he's not there. Like he isn't home. So just any kind of things like that where you are hearing things, seeing things, smelling things, just really keep an eye out for those sharpened senses and what's going on around you when you receive those kinds of heightened sensed. I don't even know what. Through heightened senses, when you receive any messages through heightened senses. Okay. Number 4, electrical interference. Spirit guides use electricity to make contact with us. So if your electronics are acting up, if your lights are blinking on and off in the room you're in, if you're just having general trouble with your electronics, is your TV or your phone like acting up, going on and off, maybe your radio in your car just is on the fritz. I know I have, my radio in my car will connect to my phone, and then sometimes it just starts like going and like just making these really weird noises, or it freezes completely. And so pay attention, like what's being played on the radio when that happens, what's being played on TV, what is the discussion about, what are you talking about, just like what's going on around you when the lights flash in the kitchen, okay? What song was playing on the radio when it starts going crazy? What were you looking for on your phone, or what were you looking at on your phone when it froze, okay? So just any kind of electrical interferences. Spirit guides really like to use electricity to make contact with us. So pay attention for those electrical interferences. Number 5, strong gut feelings. You may hear messages in your head that don't come from your own thoughts. So like if you hear something, that maybe you have a thought, but it's like not in your voice. It's like in, a different voice than yours. You may have a strong gut feeling about something that you really don't even know anything about. Like, I know there's been times in my life, especially when I was younger, and maybe like going out and doing things with people that I didn't know that well, or like going to different, when you're in your 20s and you're hanging out with people from the club, and you end up going to a house party or something, and you just get these gut feelings like, maybe I shouldn't be here, like this is not the place for me, this is not my tribe, this is not my vibe, like I need to go. So really pay attention to those gut feelings, as this may be the answers or even warnings to certain situations. So if you're somewhere and you get a weird feeling and you're like, I'm not feeling so hot, not feeling so safe here, get out of there, okay? Listen to those gut feelings, because that is your spirit guides letting you know, this is not the high vibrational situation for you, all right? Number 6, synchronicities. Do you ever see repeated numbers? Do you see repeated words or repeated phrases? Again, with the songs, do you hear a song like over and over again, and not that pop song that the radio plays nonstop, but like a song that's meaningful to you that continues to play? For me, it's Space Cowboy. If I hear Space Cowboy, I know I keep referencing my dad because that's really important to me, but Space Cowboy, they played that at his funeral. If I hear Space Cowboy, I know like my dad is there. He's trying to connect with me. He's trying to let me know that he's there. So pay attention to what you're doing when you see these repeated numbers: 111, 222, 1111, 2222, 555. Like, also, some of these numbers can also have meanings. If you look online, if you see a number repeatedly, you know, sometimes I'll be like, 111, I wonder what, like, that's like an angel number, I wonder what that means, and I'll go and I'll check out and see what that angel number is. Maybe there's a message in that. It might just be like, when you see that number, what was happening when you saw that number? What were you doing? What was being said? What was being talked about? Whatever that synchronicity was, when it happened, what time of the day. Maybe it was something you were thinking about. Maybe you're thinking about a certain situation or a certain person and you see 1111 on the clock. What was going on in that moment? Always pay attention to the small details, because like I said earlier, you know, how your spirit guides communicate with you, it's going to be very subtle. It's not like your spirit guide is going to like walk up and tap you on the shoulder and start talking to you out of thin air. I mean, not saying that couldn't happen. I guess it could. It's never happened to me, but if that happened to you, that's awesome. But most of the time, spirit guide messages are going to be really subtle, and you have to really pay attention, okay? Number 7, having a certain pull or urge. Have you ever just felt like you needed to do something, or like felt drawn to a certain person or a certain place or a certain thing, or maybe even like repelled from it? Like, you know, I'm not going there. Like, I just don't get good vibes off that place. Or you may also be like super excited about a certain topic or thing. You might have like some kind of a renewed source of excitement or energy about a particular topic. I know that that's something for me, like with my spiritual journey and like making YouTube videos. That's something that just really excites me and I feel super energetic about. So I feel like, you know, that is my spirit guides letting me know like this is something that I should be doing, and, you know, something that's going to be positive for me. It's something that's going to help me connect with my higher self. Okay, so really just pay attention to those urges and pulls that you feel inside, the things that excite you, things that make you feel good, and things that make you happy. And then I'm going to add one more, number 8 bonus. A good way that you can communicate with your spirit guides is through divination tools, right? You can use tarot, you can use runes, you can use pendulums, just whatever kind of divination tool that you feel comfortable with. That is definitely a way that your spirit guides can communicate with you. Now, I feel like with tarot and runes and all that, and any other kind of divination tools, like, I feel like those can be overused. You know, don't exhaust your connection, I guess. You know, it's for me, like, personally, I'm not always sitting there with tarot, like, going, what's gonna happen today? Does this person like me? You know, just like trivial kinds of things. I like to really just save my spirit guide connections for things that I really feel like are important to me, and just things that you feel like are going to have a major effect on your life. So ways, that is the top 7 with an 8th bonus on how your spirit guides may be trying to communicate with you. So meditate, keep your eyes and ears open, keep your mind open, and always be looking out for those subtle signs from your spirit guides. As always, thank you so much for watching. Love and light, and happy soul searching.